All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Muhammad Dash. I want to say double honor to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone for teaching his word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Hey, this is the brother Kabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming at you with another live lesson. And today's live lesson is entitled Esau is Cold as Ice. And what made me, just think of this title, I was reading up about Lyndon Johnson, or LBJ, okay, and something that he had said. And, I saw this, one of the brothers posted it up, or elder brothers posted it up on our chat. And basically, there's a quote that's attributed to Lyndon Johnson. And that quote is, I'll have those niggers voting Democratic for 200 years. All right. Now, it just shows you the blatant and covert racism that the so-called white man hatred, because it's really, we talk about racism, but it's really just hatred that he has for the children of Israel, starting off with the tribe of Judah, which would be the so-called American Negro. All right. This devil has a disdain for you that has not gone away. This devil has a hatred for you that has not gone away. In fact, his hatred is more emboldened, especially in these last days, against you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Now, we, the so-called Negro here in America, we, the tribe of Judah, we receive the brunt of this hatred from this devil. We're right underneath of this devil, and you got our people out here marching and crying and snotting and carrying on, for their new ruler, which is an Edomite. All right. And it just shows you that this man, he don't have your interests at all. He don't like you. And, Jay can't see that. You think with the passing years and with the passing months and days that somehow there's a good Edomite down there somewhere, but there is no such thing as a good Edomite. Real quick, who can make an unclean thing clean? This is Job chapter 14, verse 4 at 144. Job 14 and 4. All right. Job chapter 14, verse 4. Okay. And it says, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Right. And so Esau by nature is an unclean thing, so you can't make him clean. You can't, none of the placating to you, Jakes, because Esau, he'll give you a little something just to shut you up, which you're going to learn in this lesson from Lyndon Johnson's mouth himself. But that don't mean it's enough to help you. Okay. He just want you to be quiet and so he can move on with his agenda, which is basically wiping you out. That's his ultimate agenda. Okay. So it says, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. But Jake constantly trying to bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing. And that goes back to all your so-called presidents, all your so-called senators, all your so-called judges. Hey, this devil hates you, man. Okay. His hatred hasn't gone anywhere. Whereas though, Jake, you forget that you're in captivity. You forget that you're a slave right now. You forget that you're behind enemy lines, man. And our people suffer from the worst case of Stockholm syndrome ever. And you notice that a lot with the women of our nation, man. I was watching this video earlier. All right. I'm going to play a little bit of it. since I didn't make a lesson out of it, but I was watching this video earlier. They had this thing called stroll to the polls, man, which, it was a nigger woman, the nigger woman championed this whole voting thing, because this demon is a Kamala Harris. She's a AKA. She's a Greek. I'm a Greek. Yeah, she's a Greek. And Jake supported her, man. And they had some shit called stroll to the polls, man. So let me play this real quick. Cause see, Jake, you support a system that inherently is against you. This system has no problem elevating our women to a level of notoriety and influence. But when it comes to the men of our nation, they don't play that. All right.
Atlanta is playing a really big role in all of this political action.
Yeah, Aisha, for those who are not familiar with Black Greek organizations, when you join, whether it's in college or sometime after, it's a lifetime commitment, and the work and service don't stop after graduation. That's why one woman came up with an idea to get people moving, to get people politically active, and to bring people together.
I accept your nomination for Vice President of the United States of America.
It started with a moment, the selection of California Senator Kamala Harris as the Democratic vice presidential nominee.
Which this woman, she put so many Israelites in jail, so many Israelite men in jail, okay, show no mercy to our people,
Spoke of her biological family, but also of her chosen family, her sisters of Alpha Kappa Alpha, or AKA, and other historically Black Greek organizations known as the Divine Nine.
Family is my beloved Alpha Kappa Alpha, our Divine Nine, and my HBCU brothers and sisters.
And they all support this system. They support this whole system, what you about to find out.
Maisha Land, another member of AKA, wanted to build on that historic moment with the tradition of strolling. So what is that exactly? Members of a Divine Nine owns the Gems of Georgia dance studio in Southwest Atlanta and united her own sorority sisters, along with members of Delta Sigma Theta, Zeta Phi Beta, and Sigma Gamma Rho, in what has become a viral series of images and videos online. People across the country, including celebrities, have shared it. It was even mentioned on The View, a reaction Land didn't expect.
Never in a million years would I have ever thought that this would be a banner, a flagship for voting.
While the Divine Nine don't support individual political figures, they have always...
Yeah, like these fraternities and sororities, they always supported the so-called white man. And even though the so-called white man showed you nothing but hate, you went to their colleges, you went to these universities, you went to their so-called institutions of higher learning, and all you did was learn how to assimilate in a society where the so-called white man, woman, and child was held above you and you below it.
It's cultivated political engagement as nonprofits, and their members play a huge role in U.S. elections. The Center for American Progress said Black women are one of the most active voting blocs in the United States, and recently Black women were credited with saving Joe Biden's presidential hopes.
Yeah, see, here it is. It says Black women were credited with saving.
Recently, Black women were credited with saving Joe Biden's president.
Black women were credited with saving Joe Biden's
saving Joe Biden's presidential hopes.
Saving Joe Biden's presidential hope. And it's the women of our nation that links up with Esau, Edom, who's the devil. Okay? They believe in this whole system, and they teach their sons to believe in this system, their daughters to believe in this system. And you got niggas growing up thinking that this system somehow, some way, this a good Edomite, which this dude's a racist too, which I did a lesson maybe like last week showing you how this dude said he'd be damned if he gotta suffer for what his forefathers did to you so-called Negroes, man. Joe Biden said that out of his own mouth. Slamming slavery reparations in 75. And he was adamant. Ain't nothing changed. You think this double changed in the last 40 years? You think this double changed? Hell to the Nizar. 45 years? Oh, 44 years? Nah. This devil, he's still the same old devil. I'll just go straight to his quote. This is Joe Biden or Mr. Biden told People Paper, a Delaware-based weekly newspaper in 1975, I do not buy the concept in the 60s, which said we have suppressed the black man for 300 years, which you did. You completely suppressed the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American for over 300 years. And the white man is now far ahead in the race for everything our society offers, which he is. You Edomites have a running head start, and to prove that, watch this. How many years? Catch up to white families. This is a question I posed on Google, and it says, how long will it take for black families to catch up to white families? All right, because you Edomite. Oh, here it is right here. You Edomites had a running start. It says the black family would need. This is off thenation.com. Okay, it's off thenation.com. It says the average black family would need 228 years to build the wealth of a white family today. And this is back in 2016. So I'm sure those years even double. But then Joe Biden, out of his own mouth, he said that he didn't buy that. He says he don't buy that the white man is now far ahead in the race for everything of our society offers. In order to even the score, we must now give the black man a head start, or even hold the white man back to even the race, which you can't hold the white man back. You literally have to hold this devil back 228 years, which you can't do that. You don't have that ability. Because the reason why you Edomites are thriving is because this is your society. You see, but this is a hypocritical society. All right. And at first, we were acting like hypocrites, man. But now the Lord, he's going to raise his son up against hypocritical people, man, which is you Edomites. Hypocritical. This is okay. This is hypocrite. This is hypocrite is in a scriptures 10 times. It says he also this is Job 13:16. He also shall make. Let me get this real quick. Job 13:16. He also shall make my salvation, for an hypocrite shall not come before him. Which is you Edomites. You're the chief hypocrite on the earth, man. Everything you say, you do a whole nother thing. You're an actor. You act like you for the people, but you're not. All right. It says, upright men shall be astonished at this, and the innocent shall stir up himself against the hypocrite, which we're doing that now. That the triumphing of the wicked is short, Job 20:5, that the triumphing of the wicked is short and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. It says, for what is the, Job 27:8, for what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he have gained when the Most High taketh away his soul? And that's what's about to happen to you Edomites. Proverbs 11:9, and the hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, which this lesson, it's all about that. You're going to hear how these leaders that you ain't putting these people in the office. They're set up by their elite. But who you going out there strolling to the polls for, who you out here, lifting up and faith and all this other shit and love, hey, he hates you, man. It says, for what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he have gained when the Most High taketh away his soul? Job 27:8. Job 34:30. That the hypocrite reign not, lest the people be ensnared. And that's what's happening right now. The hypocrite is the chief hypocrite, Esau, Edom, so-called white man. You are reigning right now, and you have ensnared the Lord's people, man. That's what you've done. Proverbs 11:9. Like Stevie Wonder, this dumbass nigga talking about some Joe Biden, Kamala Harris gonna do the right thing and pay Jake reparations. And ain't barely anybody clapped at that shit, man, because they already knew that shit wasn't gonna happen. But his blind ass, he's so spiritually blind, it wouldn't pay him to physically see, man, because he don't know what's going on. But they all fell for the scheme, just like when Barack Obama got put in office, man. Niggas fell asleep. They went to deep sleep, man. Niggas went to the dark place, man, the sunken place, man, thinking that this devil was going to have your best interest, and he totally didn't. More you Jakes got shot to shit. More you black so-called black wealth plummeted dramatically under this dude's reign. You know, it says 20 Proverbs 11:9, and a hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. And that's what we're doing. We're bringing out the knowledge and wisdom and understanding of Yahweh Shema Shai about the way we're going to be delivered, man. Through Yahweh Shema Shai, we're going to be delivered, man. But this devil, he's all about destroying his neighbor. This is back in his article, Joe Biden. He said this. He says, we have suppressed. He says, I don't buy the concept popular in the 60s, which said we have suppressed the black man for 300 years. And the white man is now far ahead, which we just proved that 228 years we back in the race for everything our society offers. In order to even the score, we must not now give the black man a head start or even hold the white man back to even the race. I don't buy that. This is Joe Biden. I don't feel responsible for the sins of my father and grandfather. He continued at the time. I feel responsible for what the situation is today, for the sins of my own generation. And I'll be damned if I feel responsible to pay for what happened 300 years ago, which that shit wasn't 300 years ago. Slavery was not 300 years ago, but this is 75. And this dude was talking about 300 years. 75. Showing you their math is totally off, man. When did slavery end? Because they'll say 1865, but officially, yes, 1865, right? So let's do some math real quick. Let's pull up calculator. Well, 1865, right? Supposedly slavery ended. 1865 minus 1975. Nigga, that was 110 years, man. But in 75, this nigga was saying 300 years. Because these devils, they had their foot on our necks for longer than 300 years, man. Longer than 500 years. This shit been a while. Like if you want to keep it 100, the Portuguese, which were Edomites, they had Jake in slavery, man, from West Africa and Europe, man. I think their slave trade started sometime in the 1300s, and it didn't end until into the 1700s. Their slavery, man. So that was over 1400s, right? So that was 300 years. Matter of fact, I got a book called Nation Knows No Color Line, and I'll give you the exact number. Hey, this man's the devil, man. He cold as ice, man. He cold as ice, man. Hey, but the Most High, Yahweh Shema Shai, is way colder. He gonna show you Edomites how cold he's gonna get towards you, man. Yeah, it says this is from a book, Nation Knows No Color Line, page 65. It says, as regards to Christian Spain and Portugal, Negroes were imported in droves from 1440 until the abolition of slavery in Portugal in 1773. So that was 333 years, man. This devil had Jake 330 years back then, and this is before the slave trade hit America, man. You see? You see? But this devil said he'd be damned if he said, I'll be damned if I feel responsible for what happened 300 years ago. You see? He says, it says in an interview, Biden also opposed government efforts to desegregate schools by busing white children to majority black schools and black children to majority white schools. I oppose busing It's an asinine concept, the utility of which has never been proven to me. He said, I've gotten to the point where I think our only recourse to eliminate busing may be constitutional amendment. The new integration plans being offered are really just quota systems to assure a certain number of blacks, Chicanos, which these are Israelites, Chicanos are so-called Mexicans or whatever in each school. That to me is the most racist concept you can come up with. He said, what it says is, in order for your child with curly black hair, brown eyes, and dark skin to be able to learn anything, he needs to sit next to my blonde-haired, blue-eyed son. Which his son is a crackhead. Your son is a crackhead. Hey, I would show the video. I'm not even going to do that. Hey, you brothers want to see the video? There's a video on the internet of one of his sons, Hunter Biden, smoking crack, getting a foot job. And I ain't talking about somebody rubbing his feet. These are the people that's leading you, man. This nigga is the devil, bruh. And he don't want nothing good for you, man. The reason why Jake had to go to y'all schools because the so-called white schools were a million times better than the schools that Jake go to, man. All that integration shit, all that shit was bullshit, man. All of that, it was something to keep Jake quiet, man, and to further subjugate the Israelites, man. That's all it was. That race, it says that's racist. Who the hell do we think we are? That the only way a black man or woman can learn is if they rub shoulders with my white child. This dude's the devil. This dude, and he's the one that the black woman and the so-called black man, just like all you Jakes out here running around for Trump. He don't like you niggas either. He don't give a damn about you, man. And he's going to show it. Either one of these devils are going to show it to you when this shit is over, man. They gonna turn their scope on a Jake, man. This man don't love you, man. He is incapable of loving you. He's incapable of liking you. He's incapable of living with you. He's incapable of being at peace with you, man. And it go back to Jacob and Esau, even further than that, Cain and Abel, man. And this man's a devil. Shit, they go back further than that to the garden when Eve went off, man, and brought that to Adam, and they both went off and transgressed the laws. And that same devil, that same demon, he was black back then. He's the Edomite today, man. He's the Edomite today. And this man don't like you, man. But nobody listens. Everybody think that, everything is good. Things done changed. Life done changed. No, nothing's changed. The same shit that was happening in the 50s and the 60s is happening today. You know, I would say the bombing of your churches, but now Edomites just walk up in there and wipe you the fuck out. Okay? Just because you don't see a sign, blacks only, and blacks only? Whites only. No Negroes, no Mexicans, no Italians, no Irish, no dogs allowed. Because you don't see that sign. Hey, there's places that you can't go, man. If they catch you up in there, you getting thrown out of there like Jazz and a Fresh Prince, man. Straight out the front door. With your feet in the air, man. Why? Because this nigga is cold, man. He don't like you. Now let's go back to Lyndon Baines Johnson. Lyndon Baines Johnson said this. Well, I went to Snopes. It says, did LBJ say I'll have those niggers voting Democratic for 200 years? Because prior to that, the Republicans, those were the ones that Jake was running with. And they got all conservative, and then the Democratic Party so-called got liberal, which they all the same. Liberals and conservatives, they all hate you, man. And there's no difference between the two of them. It says President L.B. Johnson, President B. Lyndon Johnson, or Lyndon B. Johnson, once said, I'll have those niggers voting Democratic for 200 years. And Snoop said it's unproven. But let's keep on reading. It says a viral quote circulating since the 1990s attributes the following statement to Lyndon Baines Johnson, the 36th president of the United States. I'll have those niggers voting Democratic for 200 years. And this is a quote. It says, these Negroes, they're getting pretty uppity these days. And that's a problem for us since they've got something now they never had before. The political pull to back up their uppityness. Now we've got to do something about this. We've got to give them a little something, just enough to quiet them down, not enough to make a difference. And that's what the Civil Rights Bill was all about, which he calls a nigger bill. He called it a nigger bill, man. He was known for hating Jake, man. It says, I'll have those niggers voted Democratic for the next 200 years. Right. When he signed that Civil Rights Bill, you, Jake, started voting Democratic like it was nothing. Which that whole thing is just to give you a farce of inclusion, man. Because you're really not included, man. You're not included. Shit, the lesser of these Edomites, they're not included, man. Let alone the so-called Negro, man. You're not included. It says it's cited in a variety of contexts. It's cited in a variety of contexts as an example of LBJ's opportunism, which the so-called white man is an opportunist, man. Real quick, this is and that's why the scriptures, man, you gotta read, man, because the Lord be telling us everything. He gave us the scoop. He gave us the scoop on this man, yo. He gave us the scoop, the skinny on this man, yo. This is actually it's Ecclesiasticus. He gave us the skinny on this man. Sirach 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, man. You got to remember, this man is your enemy. This is Sirach chapter 13, verse 1, which he's the rich man. Esau is the rich man. The rich man have done wrong, and yet he threatened him withal. The poor is wrong, and he must entreat also. Right. This devil, he'll do wrong, and he'll threaten you with it. But we get wrong, we gotta beg the so-called white man to show some pity, right? If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. Martin Luther King, that holds all them civil rights leaders, those were for his profit. Those were for Esau's profit, man. And then after they got done with that nigga, he shot him. And Martin Luther King talking about this is after the Civil Rights Bill was signed, after all those fucking marches and nonviolent protests. This nigga said, we going up in here for our check, man. And that's Esau's like, I ain't giving you no fucking money. I ain't giving you shit. But a short time and a hard way to go. A hard way to go in a short time, man. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Right. If he ain't got nothing, if you serve no purpose for Esau, he gonna forsake you. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yeah, he'll be a buddy, he'll be a friend. Yeah, he will make thee bare and will not be sorry for it. Right. He'll strip you of everything, and he ain't gonna be sorry for it. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee. And that's what the so-called white man did. That's why Lyndon Johnson said, he said, we've got to give them a little something, just enough to quiet them down, not enough to make a difference. That's what he said. That's his quote. All right. He said, then that's why he said, he says, and if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee. That whole Civil Rights Bill, that whole civil rights bullshit, that was all a deception, man. And smile upon thee. Look at this. Look, he's sitting with MLK, smiling with this nigga, laughing with this nigga. Look. Handing him the pen that he signed, that thing, that bill for waiting for. Look, this is what the devil do, man. He smile at you, man, like it's all good, like everything is all right, but it ain't. It says, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. Oh yeah, this integration bill is gonna allow you Jakes, you Negroes, not to have white only and black only, and you guys gonna be able to go to schools, separate but equal schools. No more of that. We're gonna integrate you and let you go to our schools. And what Esau do? Keep his kids in them suburbs, man, and funnel all that money into their own schools. So these Edomites, they go to schools that look like motherfucking. I saw a private school in one of these Edomite countries, man. That shit looked like a goddamn mall. It was like 2 and 3 levels, man. Stories. You know? Meanwhile, Jake, you go to school, the pipes is broken. It's like 1 million of y'all in one class and one teacher. if the food is jailhouse food, which basically that whole educational pipeline is a pipeline straight to the prison cells, man. That's why they line you up. They dress you up in the same clothes. They give you identification. They track your every move, man. Meanwhile, them Edomites, they go to school and they get to go off campus and live their life, man. Come back to school. Every time they turn 16, the parking lot's full of cars and shit. I fucking hate you, Edomites, man. You ain't got a lie to me. I'm cool with the fact that you Edomites hate us, man, because we hate you too. It's just the fact that when Yahweh Shemar Shah give us that strength and power, we're going to exact on that hatred, man. Which I'm gonna get that. It says, if he need thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. Which that's what you Jakes are in right now. You hoping that Biden wins, man, because you think that he gonna somehow, some way, he's gonna keep to word what he had to that he claimed that he set up with you, or even Trump. You and that platinum plan, like that platinum plan gonna go in effect and be straight. He will speak to thee fair and say, what wantest thou? And he will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice. And at the last, he will laugh thee to scorn. After, when he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. Beware that thou be not deceived and brought down in his jollity, man. That's wisdom right there, bro. Because this devil, he's a demon. Let's go back to Lyndon Johnson. It says, it cited a variety of contexts as an example of LBJ's opportunism, as an example of his crassness. Okay? Let's look up that word for crassness for you brothers that don't know what this word means. Crassness. It's crassness, the quality of being crass, devoid of refinement, crassitude, insensitiveness, insensitivity, the inability to respond to affect change in your interpersonal environment. So it says, as an example of his crassness, it says, as an example of his racism and hypocrisy, because Esau, he's the biggest hypocrite of them all, man. And as an example of racism, of the racism and hypocrisy of the Democratic Party in general, it says we don't have a high degree of confidence that he actually said it. However, there's no question that Lyndon Johnson, despite championing the landmark Civil Rights Act in 1964 and signing it into law, was also a sometimes racist and notorious vulgarian who rarely shied away from using the N-word in private. For example, he reportedly referred to the Civil Rights Act of 1957 as the nigger bill in more than one private phone conversation with Senate colleagues. He reportedly said upon appointing African-American Judge Thurgood Marshall to the Supreme Court, son, when I appoint a nigger to the court, I want everyone to know he's a nigger. And Thurgood Marshall, he was a sellout, just like that nigga Clarence Thomas, man. I guess his name is Clarence Thomas. That's why the nigga don't never say nothing. Here it is, all these landmark bills, all these landmark cases come up, and this nigga never say nothing. He just sit there, man. He's happy with his position, man. He's happy to be around these Edomites, got his Edomite wife, you know. He don't care. But this is what the devil said. He called that nigga a nigga. He said, when I appoint a nigga to the court, I want everyone to know he's a nigger, man. Because that's what you always going to be to the so-called white man. According to historian Doris Kearns Goodwin, he also uttered this cynical-sounding statement, which sometimes circulates in tandem with the voting Democratic remark. It says, these Negroes, they're getting up pretty uppity these days. And that's a problem for us, since they've got something now they never had before. The political pull to back up their uppityness. Now we've got to do something about this. We've got to give them a little something, just enough to quiet them down, not enough to make a difference. For if we don't move at all, then their allies will line up against us, and there'll be no way of stopping them. we'll lose this filibuster, and there'll be no way of putting a break on all sorts of wild legislation. It'll be Reconstruction all over again, which that whole Reconstruction, that was a setup for Jake too. Here it is, Reconstruction, you had Jake in office. They were just slaves. And then after the Civil War, the South was full of turmoil. And so what happened? A lot of Negroes got into office. They got into office in the South, man. I'm talking about like senators, Congress, all of that. They had some power. But see, that's the whole thing about voting. That's why these other nations, they back their people. Why? Because their people will have their interests. And if Jake was in office, you would have hoped that they would have our interests. But in reality, these niggas, they all about this system. They don't got your interest, man. They'll promise you 1,000,001 things, but they're never going to make good on those promises, man. Because they don't want you to have no hope. They don't want you to have no backing. Your vote don't count. Because who are you voting for? You voting for an Edomite. And that's why they give you 2 Edomites, and they have you thinking that, oh, look, man, Joe Biden is good, or oh, Trump is good. But they both 2 Edomites who don't give a fuck about you, man. And they all about the agenda of the elites, man. It says, to be fair, historians point out that sometimes, as in the case above, presumably Johnson's more bigotry-laden statements were calculated to achieve a specific end, such as convincing his pro-segregation Dixiecrat colleagues that it was in their best interest to support the civil rights legislation. Reporter Adam Sawyer writes, which that whole civil rights legislation, it stopped Jake from being able to have anything on his own. You had these thriving communities, it's called black communities, with upwardly mobile black people. Okay, it wasn't a damn utopia, but it was a whole lot better than what you got after it. So what they did, they controlled you, man. They control the land. They control your wealth, man. Furthermore, showing us that this place is not our rest, man. It says, in Senate cloakrooms and staff meetings, Johnson was particularly a connoisseur of the word. According to Johnson's biographer, Robert Caro, Johnson would collaborate his pronunciation by region using Nigra with some Southern legislators and Negra with some other, discussing civil rights legislation with men like Mississippi Democrat James Eastland, who committed most of his life to defending white supremacy, because that's all they want to do. They want to keep Edomite supremacy rolling. He'd simply call it the nigger bill. But there are also instances of casual racism that can be so easily rationalized. Biographer Carroll also notes that Johnson is said to have replied as follows to a black chauffeur who told him he'd prefer to be called by name instead of boy, nigger, or chief. And this is what Baines said: as long as you are black, and you're going to be black till the day you die, no one's going to call you by your goddamn name. So no matter what you are called, nigger, you just let it roll off your back like water, and you'll make it. Just pretend you're a goddamn piece of furniture. You see? And that's how Esau looks at you, as a piece of fucking furniture. Nothing. I'm not making this up. I'm not hating. I'm just bringing the information out, man. This nigga's the devil. This nigga's the fucking devil, man. All of which is to acknowledge that without question, Lyndon Johnson used the N-word in private conversation. What is in question is whether Johnson, in fact, uttered this particular instance. And you can believe he said it. You can believe he said it. The quote appeared the first time anywhere at page 33 of Ronald Kessler's book, Inside the White House, Hidden Lives of Modern Presidents and Secrets of the World's Most Powerful Institution. Johnson, like other presidents, would often reveal his true motivations in asides that the press never picked up. During one trip, Johnson is discussing his proposed civil rights bill with 2 governors, explaining why it was so important to him. He said it was simple. I'll have them niggers voting Democratic for 200 years. That was the reason he was pushing the bill, said Macmillan. who was present during the conversation, not because he wanted equality for everyone. It was strictly a political ploy for the Democratic Party. He was phony. He was phony from the go, from the word go. That's a devil. It's a fucking devil. It's the fucking devil. It says, McMillan said Johnson did not care if women were in the area. He was totally naked with his daughters. This is the devil. Oh, he was nasty. Lady Bird and female secretaries, he said. He was quite well endowed with his testicles. This is some faggot shit. The Lord gonna kill this nigga, man. Well, he already out. He's already out. He's already out of here. When he comes back to slavery, he's gonna get him some more. Kill him some more. McMillan said. So everyone started calling him bull nuts. He found out about it and he was really upset. This nigga's a devil. And he's not the only one. He's not the only one. Oh no. This is Abraham Lincoln, who you niggas look at as a savior, man. It says among the remarks he said, he knew his proclamation would not make a single Negro free beyond our military reach. You see? He then went on to a prolonged course of remarks about the proclamation. He said it was not his intention in the beginning to interfere with slavery in the states, that he had never would have done it if he had not been compelled by necessity to do it, to maintain the Union, that he hesitated for some time and had resorted to this measure only when driven to it by public necessity, that he had always himself been a favor of emancipation, but not immediate emancipation, even by the states. Many evils attending this appeared to him. You see? And then I looked up, because I was looking up Lincoln using the N-word, which he did that shit all the time. This is the devil, man. It's the devil, man. This is the devil, man. Hey, this is Genesis. And the hatred is real, man. This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman. The woman is Israel. The thee is Esau, Edom, who was that serpent back in the garden. And between thy seed and her seed. And it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the so when you look up that word for enmity, the Hebrew word there is ayabah, which is enmity, hatred, hostility, enmity, hatred. And that's what this devil has for you, man. But you jakes think that this nigga love you, man. Because Esau, you the real nigga. You the real nigga. I got a precept real quick. The brother from Kingdom was in, put it up. Salakia. I'm not sure where he got it from. Let me see. That which is crooked. Let me see. That which is crooked. Ecclesiastes 1 and 15. Ecclesiastes 1 and 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. Yeah. And that's Esau's spirit, man. That's Esau's spirit, man. This nigga is a devil, man. But you jakes think that somehow, some way he just love you, man. When he got a natural hatred in his body for you, man. And his spirit for you, man. It's just natural. Whether he's in power, whether he has influence or not, he's always going to hate you, man. Why? Because it goes back to that birthright. It's Ezekiel 35 and 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou have not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And that's for you Edomites, man. That's for you Edomites. Because when you read up verse 3, and he said, and say unto it, that's a matter of fact, verse 2, son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. It's talking about you Edomites. Mount Seir is another word, another name for you Edomites, man. and you've had a perpetual hatred of us, and you didn't care about shedding our blood. You didn't care about, because thou has had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel. The Lord don't care about these other nations, but you shed the blood of the children of Israel by what? By force of the sword. In the time of our calamity, when we were catching hell, he going all the way back to the Babylonians taking us over. All right, going to the transatlantic slave trade. When our iniquity, when we was in our calamity, what you do? You just killed us even more. Go back to you establishing land, establishing America. You killed the children of Israel with the sword. When Gad was nothing but nice to you, man. Even though we were fighting against each other, guess what? They was dealing with you in peace, man. But you brought war, man. So the Lord said He's gonna prepare you for blood. Since you ain't hate blood, since blood is gonna pursue you, man. In the kingdom of heaven, man, you Edomites gonna be dropping dead every day. And it ain't gonna be no 1 or 2. You damn sure ain't gonna be dying of old age. It's gonna be pursuing you, man. This is Genesis 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart that the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So he wanted to try to do what he did as Cain when he killed Abel. The first thing he said was, I'm gonna kill my brother, so it'll just stop that blessing that he was supposed to get from my father. So he said, I'm gonna kill him. And these words Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. So he told his mom, this is the kind of nigga that you're dealing with. He told his own mother that he was gonna kill his brother, man. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. And that's what Esau's ultimate goal. He wants to comfort himself by killing the Israelites, man. That's why he want to get rid of the majority of the people on the earth. All right? He don't know who's who. He know we scattered in amongst all these nations. He know that the Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indian, and Asians are the children of Israel. He wants to try to get rid of us, man, to comfort himself, but that ain't going to happen, nigga. Yahweh Shem Shai is going to destroy you, man. Yahweh Shem Shai is going to ultimately wipe you out. You're going to get, after 1,000 hardcore years of hardcore slavery, and you ain't going to be no emancipation for you. It's not going to be a lighter slavery for you. Every day in the kingdom of heaven, you Edomites are going to suffer the most horrific slavery a human can ever be exposed to, man. From the day that Yahweh Shai comes back to the day that Yahweh Shai say, burn they bitch ass the fuck up. Obadiah 118, you are going to have the most horrid experience, man, for what you did to us, man. This is Ezekiel, and you don't like these words, and that's okay. But it don't matter what you like. It's what Yahweh Shai want, man. Okay? Is what Yahweh Shai want. It's Ezekiel 25:12. Thus saith the Lord, because that Edom, which is so-called white man, have dealt against the house of Judah, so-called Negro, West Indian and Haitian, by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Now, when you read this whole chapter, all these nations hated the children of Israel and the children of Judah, man. But we're talking about Edom right now. And have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. So that's how the Lord's going to give you devils judgment, by his people, by us. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, which the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. He hates you Edomites. And that hatred that we're going to show to you Edomites in the kingdom, that ain't the hatred of a regular Israelite, of the men that you see today. It's going to be a hate of Yahweh Shem Shai. And that's going to be unquenchable, man. That's going to be unquenchable. No mercy. Nothing's going to be shown to you Edomites. According to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Yahweh, man. With you nations, all you nations going to be afflicted. You Edomites, you Moabites, you Ammonites, you Philistines. You're going to have hell to pay, man. Y'all, you notice how like all these enemies, these are some of our first enemies too. Moab, Ammon, Edom, and the Philistines, man. Those were some of our most formidable foes, man. Those are some of our most formidable foes, man. Well, and that when Yahweh Shai comes back, man, he's gonna destroy you, man. Okay? So I didn't mean to make this long. Salakia, thought it was like 30 minutes, but I was excited. The brother Kingdom Within, Zechariah 2:8, and he that toucheth you touches the apple of his eye. That's right, man. That's right, man. You touch the apple of the Lord's eye, man. And you called us niggas, and you made us feel that word to the point where Jake just accepted it, and we call each other nigga like it's nothing. But guess what, man? Nigga, the word nigga just means black anyway, so we're brown, baby. So, hey, man, you Edomites, man, it's coming, man. It's coming real soon, man. Sooner than you think, man. Yahweh Shai Shai is coming. He's gonna break you off. And I ain't talking about music soul child. With that, hey, Shalom, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shai Shai, Ba'ashem Kadash, double honor to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone for teaching the word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to our fellow Akim. Keep pushing, keep striving. We're almost out of here. Hey, Shalom.